to the first Beyond the Camera show of 2024. I don't know how many more of these we're going to do. We're going to just kind of wing it. We're not going to overschedule it. I got to turn that music off. While it is fun, we don't need it. It distracts me. It probably distracts all of you as well. All right, we are talking about 2024 planning. So I want to know, those of you that are watching live, and if you are watching on the replay, I still want you to comment and participate along with us. Have you done your 2024 planning? Like, do you have all of this stuff done, or are you going, oh, I probably need to work on that? Give us a sense of where you're at in terms of getting your planning done. Or are you in that space where you're like, okay, I've got most of it done, but I'm always up for new ideas and new concepts and new whatever else. So let us know. So I am super excited. If you guys remember, at least those of you that are in the Get on Camera group, I asked if this was something you were all interested in, and I got a lot of really good feedback. Yes, let's do something. And one of those comments on that post was the wonderful Chinelo, who said, I'll do it with you. And I was like, oh, thank goodness. I don't have to create anything because this is her jam. This is her space. This is what she's good at. So I'm super excited that she volunteered. And we're going to do this like interview style. So I'm going to let her introduce herself because she's going to do a way better job than I am. So Chinelo, welcome to the stage, if you will. All right. Introduce yourself. Tell everybody who you are, what you do.
Hi, everyone. Hi, Jamie. My name's Chinelo, the EntrepreMum. My thing is empowering mums who are in business to grow in their businesses so they can harmonize their lives and build legacies through their businesses so they can impact their families and their communities. I do it through business strategy, especially helping you optimize your life. That's me.
Oh, I love that. And fun fact, if they didn't guess, you are in the UK, but you just spent some time here in the US over the holidays, right? So you're a little jet lagged still, correct?
Yes. So please excuse me if I yawn. I've got my cup of coffee here at 6 p.m. in the evening.
I hope you can still sleep after all of that caffeine.
I'm hoping so too, but it'll be worth it.
It'll be worth it. All right. Just so you know, Chinelo, we've got open to ideas, have an idea of what they want to do for 2024, just kind of starting. Haven't done anything yet, to be honest. Okay. Cool. So we got a lot of people saying woohoo and hello, Chinelo, and all of that good stuff. So we're all ready to go. All right. I love it. Okay, so those of you that have just recently joined, the question I asked was, where are you at with your 2024 planning? Have you started it, not started it, open? Give us a little sense of that. So Chinelo, let's start with reviewing. Why is it so important at the start of the year or at the end of the year to reflect and review on where we've been?
I like to think about life. This sounds really deep, but it really isn't. As a journey. When you set off to go somewhere, you need to know where you're going and have a general idea of how you'll get there and that kind of stuff. So that's how it works in my mind. The year 31st of December 2024 is our destination. God willing, that's where everybody would like to get to. So getting to the 31st of December 2024, would you want to be the same as you are now? Or would you want to have grown? I have this saying, if you're not growing, you're dying. If you look at a plant, if it's not growing, it's dying. So the only competition we generally have is the version we had yesterday. So we've got to look back and think, where was I yesterday? What would I like to develop? It's nothing complicated. People have these big things about goal setting, and you've got to, I like maps and journals and lists. But if you don't, it's literally, where would I like to be tomorrow? What better version of myself would I like to be tomorrow? It could be as simple as losing weight, which is one of my things, drinking more water. And for business, for EntrepreMums, it could be more visible, which Jamie is fantastic at. I was saying to Jamie, the last time I got interviewed on this show, my camera, my lighting, everything, I wasn't as confident as I am now, but I've still got paces to go. That's part of my target. So it's knowing where you want to get to and planning how to get there, because if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. will wake up tomorrow and find out, oh, a whole month has gone by and haven't done anything. So that's why we review. That's why we look through life and think, okay, what could I do differently?
I love that. And what I love about it is that it's like, you're not in competition with anybody else or what anybody else is doing.
Yes.
It's just what you want to achieve.
Yeah, exactly.
And looking back at what you achieved or didn't achieve last year helps you kind of start to map that out. It's like the beginning stages, right? It's not about being critical of yourself and saying, I didn't do this and I didn't, but it's celebrating the wins and saying, okay,
Exactly.
where do I want to go now? What is the next step forward? Okay, I love it. Now, after you've done some reflecting, I often tend to think of vision and mission and resetting all of those things. Is that important to look at and update every year or not? And for those who, actually, this is a really good question. Let me ask so that they're commenting while you talk. How many of you have vision, mission, and values defined for your business? Let us know. Yes or no? No, actually, don't say yes or no, because I won't know what yes or no means when I go back. Yes, I have a vision. Yes, I have a mission. Give us some of those. Okay, so Chinelo, why is that? And should we be spending time there?
I believe we should. I'll just go back to something, what we're talking about with the reviewing. Generally, when we talk about reviewing, people tend to think of it, it tends to have a negative connotation, like you were talking about, criticizing. But it's not really that. A lot of the time, especially as women, for those of us who are mums and then entrepreneurs, we're usually so hard on ourselves. We tend to look at what we haven't achieved as opposed to celebrating what we have achieved. So reviewing also helps us see how far we've come, even though we probably haven't realized it. So we can celebrate and realize, I may not have written these things down as goals, but these are the areas in which I've grown. I hadn't even realized. You celebrate that and decide, do I want to grow more in that area or somewhere else? So I thought I'd bring that I'd mention that. It shouldn't be negative at all. Whatever you have should be about growth.
I used to have a coaster on my office desk. I don't think I think when we went into the RV, I lost it. And it was something like, shoot for the moon and you'll land in the stars. And so I often think of that with my goals. Like I might set a big, aggressive goal and maybe I don't hit it, but rather than beating myself up for not hitting it, I'm going to celebrate, but look how far I got.
Exactly.
Right. And so now I just continue that energy. Okay. I love it. I love it. All right. So vision and mission and values, how important is that?
Very important. So again, like I said, I tend to think about it as a journey. So the vision is a destination. Where do you want to get? What do you want to achieve? Who do you want to be? That's the vision. The mission for me is the logistics. How do we get there? What car are you going to drive? Are you going in an RV? Are you going by train? Who are you traveling with? What are the things you need to take on the journey with you? That's the mission. So when we're talking about it in terms of a business, so maybe at the end of January, for instance, for those of us who are working on visibility, I want to have, so for me, my challenge, oh gosh, is to post on my personal wall every single day this year. So how am I going to do that? Which is my mission. I'll be looking at the different things I'll be talking about. Who are the people I'll be engaging with? That's putting it practically. So it could be anything for your business. That's what the vision is, the mission is. And the values we must, I believe, evaluate every single year because we grow. The values are your non-negotiables. Who are you? Who do you want to work with? What do you like? What you don't like? What are the things that tick you off? Who are the people you will not work with? Who are the people you'd love to work with? Those things change as we grow. So for instance, me personally, time is a big thing for me now, because as you know, Jamie, I was quite ill last year and it put life in perspective for me. The things that used to matter don't matter as much now. And it's affected my values. For some people, it might be becoming empty nesters. Your values change because you now think, okay, I can hang out with people I couldn't hang out with before because they didn't understand that I had children. So I think we do need to appraise those in order to help us define our goals more clearly, actually have clarity on our journey as we travel through life or business.
They're almost like the guiding principles that drive us, right? Is knowing where are you headed and how are you going to get there and what values and how are you going to operate yourself. They're the guiding principles that move us through this path.
Yes.
And so what I'm hearing you say is the vision may not change. The
Yes.
mission probably will, because last year you're doing something different. The goals
Yes.
definitely change, and the values change because we've developed and grown. I love that.
Exactly.
Love that. Okay, so just to bring in the audience a little bit, yes, I have a vision and mission. I like that. Yes, I have a vision, mission, goals, and purpose. Oh, I love that. Sherry actually reached out. I think many of you saw my post about On Purpose Person, which is a book I always read between Christmas and New Year's. And so I shared a little bit with Sherry, and we kind of motivated and pushed ourselves to get these things done. So if anybody else is interested in that book, reach out. I'm happy to share.
Cool.
Okay, let's see what else we have here. Hold on here. I've changed my vision, mission, goals, purpose as I change my niche. That's another reason why they would change, right? I'm on 6,395,000. But I finally found what feels right and good to me, going to change them again. Awesome, Debbie. Yes. Awesome. So proud of you. Okay, Debbie's asking, what was the name of the book again? On Purpose Person. I'll drop the link after this. I'll make a note and I'll tag you in it for everybody that wants it. Okay. Let's see how I missed something else. Stephanie says, sometimes you don't always realize how far you come unless you review. Yes.
Yes. That's
so
true.
important. So
That's
important.
true.
So important. Okay. Anything else on vision, mission, purpose, values before we get into the word of the year?
I think, like you said, they're the guiding principles. The other thing to remember is those are the things you want to be known for, especially in business. Well, not just business, but even as an individual. When somebody says, "Oh, Jamie, what do people think about?" Those, you're defined by your values. You're defined by the things that are important to you. So again, because my background is corporate, I know the formal ways of writing business plans, goals, vision, mission, and all of that kind of stuff. But if you think about it, if you break it down, what defines you? That's literally it.
And what do you want people to think and feel about you? I talk about that as it relates to videos, right? If you're, as you're planning out whatever notes you have on what you're going to talk about and what you're going to cover in your video, you should be planning and thinking, what do I want them to feel? What do I want them to think, right? And your values, that's all connected in there for sure. Yeah.
That's interesting because I know, well, probably you might have this in one as one of the questions, Jamie, but there's something that I usually talk about. Myself and my business are completely different.
Yes.
Let's talk about
it now. We're here. Talk about it now. Elaborate. Tell us what you mean by that.
So, for instance, I like to call myself, a friend described me as that, and I own the label, a social introvert. I'm so introverted. I love my own space, and I recharge myself in my own space. However, the brand, my business, EntrepreMums, it's very extroverted and it's so sociable. It's about inclusion and community and all those things that the thoughts that I think of and I want to cower. But that's my brand. So every time I'm posting, I've got to think outside of myself, what's EntrepreMums about? What's the message I'm trying to get across? Because it's not about me. It's the same with colors. I wake up in the morning and most of my wardrobe is black because I like black, but I can't do that with EntrepreMums. So I've got to think about the brand itself, about the voice. There is obviously an element of me in EntrepreMums. However, the brand itself is completely different from me because of its mission, its vision, its goals, and its values. So the values of EntrepreMum, like I was saying, it's fun. It's a community. It's where people can always come and be switched on all the time. I mean, socially. Whereas for me, as a person, oh gosh, that's my worst nightmare. But they're completely different.
Right.
Not because I don't love people, I do, but I need to then go back after a while. But EntrepreMums doesn't. It's on all the time.
On all the time. I think I talk about this with videos, because nobody ever believes me when I say this. I am an introvert. I am a very shy person. But when I'm here on camera, I am Jamie Hain Coaching, and Jamie Hain Coaching is about making you feel like you are empowered. It's about making it fun and light. It is about connecting and being interested in you as a person. And all of those are all parts of my values. And it's almost like a switch in your head when you're on versus I am my brand, I am my business versus my personal life, which is let me go on the sofa and read my book and I'm happy. Like it's almost night and day different. It can be, right?
Exactly. And that affects how you actually write your vision, mission, your values, and your goals for either your personal life or your business.
Well, that's what I was going to ask. Should you have a different set? Is it a different set? You should. Okay.
Yes, you should. Obviously, there will be connections because we're involved in them. So my values, for instance, when it comes to things like integrity, when it comes to I saw somebody's post yesterday, and she was saying, what's the one thing that turns you off when you meet a guy? And the first thing that came to my head was arrogance. When people feel that they've arrived at a certain place and then everybody else is beneath them. That's one thing that I really do not like. So regardless of how high I get how high I am in my experience, things I've achieved, things I've experienced, I want everyone to feel that we're starting together. We're on that journey together. It's accessible. And that's part of me as a person, and that's part of EntrepreMums as a brand. So there's that intersection there. But like I said earlier, when it comes to the social bits, there's a divergence. So writing those things, you have to actually think, what's the business? What's my vision? Starting with a vision for the brand, that determines the mission. And then the values, what do I want the brand to be known for? EntrepreMums, the brand, as opposed to me as a person. And depending on what I want the brand to be known for, set the goals. Where are we now? So for instance, when I was talking about visibility, I had to get my head into the space that visibility is not about me. Even though I'll be the one on camera, it's not Chinelo, me. It's Chinelo, the EntrepreMum. And the EntrepreMum has to be known. So how do I present myself? That's affected the goals I've written for the business as opposed to my goals.
Yeah. Okay, a couple comments I want to bring up on screen here. Stephanie says she is also an introvert when not in her business. So she's in the same space we are. It's a switch. I'd be interested to know for the rest of you that are either watching live or watching on the replay, does this resonate with you? Are you different personally than you are business? And in what way? Drop some comments and share with us. Okay, Sherry has a question. Defining and looking at yourself is sometimes hard to do. How do you suggest going about this?
When you say defining, are you talking about your value? Are we talking about vision, mission, values? Is that what you're talking about when you say defining yourself? Are you talking about reviewing where you are and who you are and where you want to be?
Good clarifying question. Sherry, we need a little bit more information there because I think the answer's different depending on which way you're looking at it, right? So, okay. Sherry, give us a little bit more and we'll come back to this. Oh, there we go. There she says, yeah, she's an introvert outside of her business. So it's how do you begin to figure that out? Okay, got it.
Okay.
Let me put the question up.
I think the easiest way is to start from the vision.
Okay. I
So
found
what's
this on the web for outside of her.
Siri's trying to help us. I don't know if you can hear that, but Siri went off and is trying to chime in. She wants to join you here, Chinelo. But she said she couldn't find anything. Okay, so Sherry's saying that the answer to your question is she wants both. So elaborate, if you will.
Okay, so your values, your Siri. I shouldn't mention her name, should I?
Don't say it. She'll come back.
Oh dear.
I'm gonna turn her off while you're talking. Keep going.
I was going to say start with your vision. That's where I would start. The vision for your life, Sherry, and the vision for your business. If you can define those two, then it's easier. The mission, I did some coaching in my group, and I was talking about the mission being like, I don't know if any of you would have seen on the maps we had, I home educated or homeschooled my children. So we had a lot of tactile things. And we had this map where the children could actually take people and move them as they traveled, learning the different continents and countries. And it was so fascinating where you'd move different animals depending on where the topography of a place. So that's kind of your mission. Your vision is the destination, the mission. If you're traveling through the jungle, you'd need a certain kind of outfit. So if your business was traveling through the jungle, you'd need a different kind of outfit. You'd need probably more water if you were in the desert in your own personal life. I hope this is given some kind of clarity, because sometimes it seems very vague and hazy and abstract. But if you know exactly where you want to go, you have an idea of how to get there. So in your personal life, for instance, you might decide you want to work with introverts and teach. I don't know what your business is. I'm just using an example that came to my head. You might decide you want to train introverts and how to be good on camera because you're learning from Jamie. And you would know, as an introvert, one of the things we struggle with is putting ourselves out there. So you could decide, okay, how have you done it? What are the different things you've done? Have you thought about yourself as I don't know, have you come from a place of service to people? Because a lot of us introverts are empaths, and the easiest way to come out of ourselves is somebody saying to you, you're doing it for somebody else. You immediately forget who you are and the fact that you're introverted. I'll do this for you. So that might be a way to get to your mission. That might be your personal mission. I'm helping people achieve this. And that will then define your goals. How many people am I going to maybe help in a month? What kind of things would I say to them? What kind of tools would I give them? That's you as a person. But then your business, if your business is extroverted, if you were deciding that my business is, I don't know, maybe creating, for want of, websites. If you're creating websites, you need to be out there quite a lot to get people into your space who want to build websites. So you then be thinking about the fact that you've got to be on so many different platforms. How do I do that? It's a completely different strategy from who you are as a person. You'd need to then define, who are the people I need to link in with? Who are the people who are likely to want websites? How much would they pay? Do I want people who will pay for a one-page website or a 10-page website? Where would I find them? Again, that's your mission. The different people you might want to collaborate with. If your nature as an introvert then affects the fact that you need to reach out to people, who can I link up with? Who's an extrovert that knows loads of people? That's part of your mission. And they'll be, I collaborate with people to achieve this thing. And then your goal to achieve your mission is reaching out to, 10, 15, 20 people who are extroverts and good at their businesses or have large audiences. And law of probabilities, you might then be able to connect with 2, 3, 4, 5 who help you take that pressure off you as an individual, but help you also fulfill the goals of your business.
Yeah, they all connect and build on each other, don't they? The vision and the mission and the goals. And I think what I heard you say that I think is powerful is that when you clearly state this is your mission, then you will do whatever you take to achieve that, even if it may be pushing the boundaries on introvert extrovert piece, right? And I say this all the time. Especially to the people who are like super shy, like I can't be on camera. This is super uncomfortable. And I think what I would say to those of you that speaks to is, instead of thinking the spotlight is on me, the camera is on me, because as an introvert, that's incredibly uncomfortable. We don't want to be on the spotlight. Like we want to be behind here, right? Yep. But instead, think about it like the spotlight is on your message. It's on what you're doing for others. It's how you are showing up to help other people. And oftentimes it's almost like it's almost like playing a character. And I don't mean don't be yourself. We could totally go off on a tangent and talk about this, but think of it like when you go on camera, you're going on stage. Think about all of the introverted actors and actresses out there that play roles that are vastly different from themselves.
Yeah.
Be careful though, because you don't want to burn yourself out. If you're trying so hard to be something that you're not,
Exactly.
You're going to be exhausted. And like everybody was saying, I'm an introvert outside of my business and I need quiet time and I need silence, and you need to recharge your batteries. That's what you're doing. So when I go live, for example, like I have lots of calls today. I have Zoom calls, client calls, live calls. I'm going to be exhausted. I know I'm going to be exhausted. So I know tonight I need to do something for me and I need to recharge your battery. So it's really knowing that, and that ties into your values and your goals, and all of it's all interconnected here. So anyway, I hope, Sherry, I don't know if we actually got your question answered, but hopefully we gave you at least some starting points. I don't want to speak for Chinelo, but I think I know her well enough that she would say, message her if you got more questions and you want to further this conversation, or reach out to me and I'm happy to help too. Okay, let's move on here because I want to get back to, before we get into goals.
Yes.
And by the way, for those of you that are tuning in, we originally planned this for a half an hour. And then as Chinelo and I were going through this, we're like, there's no way we can get through this all in a half an hour. So our target is 1 hour, 1 hour. So if you're at that point where you're like, another half an hour of this, do it in 2 parts. It's okay. You'll be fine. Come back, do it in little mini chunks, if you will. Okay. Word of the year, very, very popular. Lots of people talking about word of the year. Why is that important? How does that come in with this whole vision, mission, goals, all of that? Why should you set one?
Simply put, it's for focus, laser focus. It literally gives you something to focus on. When there's so much noise around, you've got that one word that resonates with you, that keeps you going. Because we can set all the goals we want set, but life happens and things get challenging. It's just the way life is. But that one word can pull you back when things have pulled you away.
Yeah.
That's
or when you're feeling down, or I can't do this, or you need some inspiration, you go back to your word. I'll just show you all. I had Sherry. Oh, I don't know if it's going to come up. My word is unstoppable. And so Sherry created this awesome graphic for me, right?
Oh, that's so cool.
Isn't that cool? So I have it printed out and it's right on my wall. It's right here. So every time, every day, all day long, I'm seeing that word over and over and over. So it's not enough to just pick a word and then forget about it. Pick a word and make it visible, right? Remind yourself, put it on your screensaver, put it wherever, so that it keeps motivating and inspiring you.
Yes.
I'll also say this. She had no idea I was going to do this. I don't even know if she's on or not. But Kim Conway is doing a meditation next week to help you uncover intuitively your word of the year. So if anybody's struggling with, how do I get my word of the year? It's not coming to me or whatever else, I would highly recommend you reach out to her. I didn't do her meditation. I actually did one that my coach was doing. And I was at the point where I was like, the word's not coming to me. I don't know what I want to do. And it was so powerful. It was an amazing meditation. And I know Kim's will be the same way. So if that's of interest, Kim, if you're watching, drop the link. Otherwise, I'll drop the link afterwards. Okay. I want to ask all of you that are watching, if you've already picked your word of the year, what is your word of the year? Drop it below. Let us almost create a list that may inspire other people to come up with a word. They may not, some may copy you, and anybody wants to use unstoppable, you can use it. But looking at all of these words might help you figure out your own space. So drop them in the comments and let's look at the words of the year. Chinelo, do you have a word of the year yet? Have you figured yours out?
I do have a word of the year, and mine's supernatural. Because I know people have been talking about so many negative things that will be happening in 2024. Because my day-to-day business is property. And so many things, worrying things, if you look that way, are happening in the property space. And my word of the year keeps reminding me, it doesn't matter what's happening to anybody else.
Right.
My journey is different. So it will be outside of the natural, because the natural saying there's a horrible recession, we'll lose our portfolio. There's a horrible recession, this is happening, the taxes are increasing, and everyone's trying to wind down and run away from the space. But my word is saying, I'll be walking outside of the natural, doing what I'm doing till I get to the end of the year.
I love it. I love it. Okay, let me pull some of these up on screen quick. Debbie's word is advocate.
Oh, I love this
word. Lawanda's is growth. Lori's is elevate. Awesome.
These are
Let's see.
beautiful.
Consistency. I don't know who this person is, but consistency. That's a good one. I love it. Oh, another cultivate. Super,
Mm,
super powerful
okay,
stuff in
okay.
here. Oh, I love it. Okay, Debbie asks, how did she create that? I think she means the graphic that Sherry created for me. And she just took my logo. Here's how you guys can see the comments. Hopefully, she took the logo and she did her magic. I'm sure she'd do one for you if you paid her. I'm just saying. And then also Lori dropped. She's doing word of the year mugs on her Etsy page. Oh, I might have to do this. I love it. All right, let's see here. What else do we have here? I don't want to miss anybody's comments. Okay, so a lot of you are using intuitive words that just intuitively come to you. Somebody else said they're going to do a meditation next week and see how it comes in. I love it. It's beautiful, beautiful stuff. Okay, I don't think I've missed. Oh, here's some more coming in. Chinelo, just give me 30 seconds. We're going to go through these because these are fun. This is inspiring stuff, right? Okay.
I love that.
So we have Stephanie's is focus.
Nice.
Expansion.
That's exciting.
That is exciting. Nurture, another awesome one. Awesome, awesome. Okay, okay, we're gonna keep them coming. I'll come comment afterwards and cheer you on. But this is fantastic.
Those are so empowering.
Okay, all right. Word of the year. Now let's move on. We've kind of got all of like the stuff you've got to just have ahead of time. That's kind of the guiding principles. Now we're getting into goal setting, and like this can be the part that people go, it can almost be overwhelming, can it? It's like, how do I even begin? I don't. And like you and I both come from corporate. I think it's probably fair to say it's drilled into you. Like if you've worked in corporate, you know how to do this because it's an exercise every year. But a lot of people don't. So what help us? What thoughts or ideas can you have for people in terms of why? Let's start with why do it and how does it help us? And then how do you begin to get them done?
Okay, the why again relates to what we're saying about having a destination, where you're going, and measuring. What you don't track, what you don't measure, you actually don't recognize, you're not aware of, so you don't know. It's the example that came into my head is like children. We have birthdays every year. Everyone knows they're growing, but there's that place where you say, oh yeah, this is a year, and you're however old it is, because you have that stop point that helps you. It's almost like a container where you stop and say, okay, how much have I done in this period of time? So that's why we do it. Where do we start? Where do we start? Again, not making it too formal. Like we said earlier, it's about the destination, your vision, your mission, what you want to do, what you want to achieve, becoming a better version. I don't like the word better. Becoming an evolved.
Leveling up.
There we go. So yeah, because saying better means that there was something wrong with you. No, not really. So
you're just evolving. You're growing, right?
Yes.
And it's the next version of you. Yeah,
exactly. Somebody's word was elevate. So elevating yourself. That's literally it. What can you do to elevate yourself in practical steps? What can you do to elevate yourself? So I have personally 12 buckets, I call them, that I measure. So my personal identity, me as myself, because I was saying things change. What do I like, don't like, those kind of things. That's me as a person. My relationships, my relationship with my husband, my family, nuclear extended, career or business, depending on which one you have, your leisure, and self-care. It might be health and fitness, financial stability, spirituality. So that thing that grounds us, whatever it may be, what are our goals? So I break mine into those buckets. And for each one, I put in between 1 and 5, depending on what it is. Not too serious, just anything that comes to mind. And then I tend to pick 3 to work on each month. This month, I've picked 2 from my business and 1 from my personal life. Just 3 goals that I'll be working on. And that's because, like I said, I was working on visibility, for instance, for EntrepreMums. So it's got 2 goals that I'm working on and one in my personal life. Again, even if you worked on 1 goal a month, by the end of the year, you would have done 12 things.
Right.
Yeah. So whatever you do, remember, no one's marking you, no one's looking at you, no one's measuring what you're doing. It's all about you, your personality, your life, what you can manage. The most important thing is elevate yourself.
Yes.
Be a better, an elevated version of the you from yesterday. That's all.
I think where I know I have gotten in trouble in the past is I come up with these goals and I have a whole gazillion of the goals, and then I'm trying to do all of them in 30 days. And I'm like, I can't get this done. And then I think I can't set goals, or goals doesn't help me. Well, that's girl, right? That's not quite right. I can tend to be too aggressive. So I like what you're saying. Set your goals, and then it's almost like map them out on a calendar.
Yes.
Which month are you going to work on 1 or 2 of these? Not all 12 in the first week of the year.
Exactly.
Right? And it's based on all of the things we've already been talking about, right? It's based on what did you not get done last year that you want to get done this year, or where do you want to elevate yourself, or where's your vision going and your mission? What has to get done for you in order to achieve that? That needs to go on your goal list. And I love the categories. That's a great place to start. Good tips here. Now, while I'm thinking of it, Chinelo, I know every once in a while, and there may be some people on with us live, and if so, I want to make sure we give this attention. There are a lot of people who will say, goals restrict me, or they stress me out, or I don't like setting them. What say you in this space?
It's about you. It's about you. Don't think about how anybody else sets their goals. So, like Jamie said, those of us that came from corporates probably set goals the same way because it was drilled into us. Spreadsheets, graphs,
budgets, and
all kinds of things. So there is an element of that in us. So I love writing. I love journaling. So I have loads. At the moment, I've got about 14 journals on the go. But I enjoy that. I enjoy lists. I enjoy productivity apps. That's my thing. But for some other people, that's so overwhelming. But think about it this way. Regardless of your personality, I keep going back to the journey. If I wanted to drive to Texas, for argument's sake, regardless of our personality, if I am the way I am and you were so laid back, you'd still need a map to get to Texas. Some kind of map. You wouldn't say a map restricts me and I'll just keep going till I find Texas. It doesn't work that way. There's a general,
especially not when there's an ocean in between. Like it's not just easy to get to Texas from the UK without.
Exactly. I know.
So what I hear you saying is it's about if goals feel like they're restrictive to you, you may be going too deep into your goals.
Exactly.
Just have a destination in mind of what you want to achieve and then go for it, right? But it's like you wouldn't go on I don't think I would do this. You wouldn't go to an airport and go up to the ticket counter and go, put me on a flight wherever. Just wherever, I don't care. Because you got to know, what am I going to pack? And what am I going to do when I get there? And where am I going to? You got to do some planning. But you decide what to plan. You decide how much detail, right?
Well, having said that, there are some people, for them, that might be fun. But there is still an element of planning. Because you have to have the money to get wherever you want to go. Which means you need to have done something to get that money in. So whatever makes you feel comfortable, whatever it is, whatever level, if it's literally, I don't know, cutting down on sugar for argument's sake, and it starts with fizzy drinks, because I keep talking about health, because for me and weight loss, people say to me, oh, you've got to watch what you eat and then do this and do this and do that all at the same time in order to lose weight. And I've tried that in the past and I thought, nah, I dropped the ball one and that's it. Everything's gone. So my thing now is pick one thing. One thing. I may not lose all the weight I want to lose, but it'll shift the needle a little bit.
Well,
So
let's
what
be real. You didn't gain all the weight in a week. Why do you think you're going to lose it all in a week? It's just, it's not, it's about being realistic, right? Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And whatever you can achieve. Because,
Yeah.
it's important to say this. When you set a goal based on what somebody else says and somebody else's life, or what somebody else, you watch somebody else do, that's a really easy way to set yourself up for failure and disappointment, which then means the next time you think goals don't work for me because you've done
Right.
something that somebody else does.
You've
or somebody
copied,
else is
you've
doing.
copied somebody else's methodology and it may not work for you. And so I'm just going to say this to everybody who's listening. You have permission to do it
Yep.
your way. You
Exactly.
don't have to do it the way I do it. You don't have to do it the way Chinelo does it.
Yep.
You do it your way.
Yep.
Right? Yeah.
And it can be one goal for the whole year.
Yeah. Okay. So Sherry says sometimes goals feel like a brain dump of ideas. And I think she's right. And that can be either good, right? Just to get it out. I know for me, sometimes getting it out helps, and having it on paper or having it up on my wall. It can also be overwhelming. And so I think there's a fair amount of prioritization that needs to be done when you brain dump. Yes.
One of the things I do actually with setting goals, that's a really cool thing you've raised, Sherry, because I start from doing a brain dump. Every single thing in my head, I literally do a brain. I have this massive card on the floor, and then I start putting them into my buckets. That's why I call them buckets.
Yeah.
I just throw them into buckets, and then I have, again, because that's what I was saying about the way I do my thing, I have columns: must do, nice to have, and that kind of stuff. I then break them into those 3 columns, and from there I prioritize and then choose my 3. Like I said, mine is convoluted, but I do start with a brain dump. So if a brain dump helps you empty your head, that's fine. And then decide whichever way you want to decide. I usually suggest a maximum of 5 goals to work on. 3 is a better number, between 1 and 3.
I would agree. 3 is a much better number. Yeah.
Yeah. So pick what you work
on. And some of the ideas that come out of the brain dump may be things that you work on next year. So save them. They were a great idea. It's just not priority this year based on your vision, based on your mission, based on all of the things. And listen, as much as we all talk about being superheroes, right? And being superhuman and you being supernatural, the reality is you cannot do it all. You cannot. You have to pick. And so what do you pick? You pick the things that are going to move you towards your mission and vision. That's why that's being set. Yeah. Exactly. Okay. I love it. Let me bring up some other really cool comments here. And then we're going to, you've got an awesome tool that you're going to give everybody. So we're going to go there next. Okay. Stephanie says she has a kitchen plaque that says you may not always end up where you thought you were going, but you'll always end up where you're meant to be. Oh, I love that.
I love that. Yes.
Love that.
Yes.
I know one of the things that I have learned from Stephanie's actually going to be live on Monday talking about how to reclaim time. And she's going to be live in this group. So I'm sure she'll talk more about this, but honestly, one of the best things that I have learned from Stephanie is how to even prioritize what I work on in a day. So I hope she's going to share some of that with you on Monday. Okay. Sherry says her grandmother wrote a note years ago. If it's going to be, it's up to me. A plan must be made, a price must be laid, a price must be paid. Well, that's a mouthful to say, but reading it, that's awesome. I love that. Okay. Gosh, you guys are so empowering today. I love it. All right. Chinelo, anything else on goal setting, or do you want to just jump right into the wonderful PDF you're going to give everybody?
Goal setting, I think, again, I can't say this too many times. It's all about you. You're not in competition with anybody else. At this time of the year, it's easy to look on Facebook or social media and see what people are doing. People talk about all these lofty goals and then start to feel either the FOMO or feel inadequate or feel left behind. Don't think about any of that, because a lot of the time people write all these lofty goals and then come December haven't achieved anything.
Right.
Right. It doesn't mean anything. People are just saying what they'd like to achieve, same as you're thinking about what you'd like to achieve. So what's that is saying? Stay in your lane, keep your eyes on where you want to go and decide how you want to do it. Because if you achieved one goal, you're miles better than the person who wrote 15 goals and didn't do anything at all.
Right.
So, it's all about you.
It's
And
all
you
about you.
enjoy it.
Yeah, there's a really good book that's I'm seeing it all over honestly TikTok. But you talk about personal and professional, and where I spend my professional life on Facebook, but I spend my personal life on Instagram and TikTok. So just FYI, you can separate your social media fun as well. But one of the things that's getting huge, at least that I'm seeing right now, is this concept of a 12-week year. Have you heard about this, Chinelo? A 12-week year? So there's a book called The 12-Week Year, but there's a woman on TikTok. She did one video where she recapped the book, and it had 1.9 million views. One TikTok, 1.9. Yeah. Wow. And she just kind of gave you she jokingly said, I stayed up all night and read this book for you. Here's the Cliff Notes version, basically. But the idea is only focus on the 12 weeks. And then think of 12 weeks, 3 months as your year, and then restart the process. And I think the concept behind it is, every quarter, then you're reassessing your goals. You're looking at your metrics and your numbers. You're looking at your mission and your vision, and you're tweaking it all. And you are staying focused in a smaller chunk of time versus waiting until December to go, oh shoot, I had goals. What were they? Right. So I thought that would be relevant as you were talking about this. It's you decide how crazy you want to be with tracking and measuring and all of that stuff. But the key is do something. Don't just set your goals in January and then look at them again in December. They don't magically happen, right? There's no magic wand.
And the funny thing, though, what's this book is what we've always been trained to do in corporates anyway, because you have the quarterly reviews, you have the monthly reviews, weekly reviews. It's actually easier, in my opinion, to have fortnightly or monthly reviews, because it motivates you.
Yes.
To see how far you've come, and that keeps you going. Like Jamie said,
and it's time to course correct, right? It's that moment where you can go, okay, Jamie, you spent way too much time on TikTok. You need to reevaluate this plan, and you need to have a new plan next month. So it's almost like a little mini review each month, isn't it? Love that. Okay. Do you want to talk about the PDF that you have for everybody? And by the way, while you're gearing up, I said the wrong date for Stephanie. Yes. Stephanie's going on the 9th, not the 8th. I said the wrong date. So I'm sorry, everybody. I'm sorry. And I'm sorry, Stephanie, if I gave you a panic attack. It is the 9th. Thank you for reminding me. Okay. So talk about this document that everybody's going to have access to. And the link is up above for everybody. Tell them what they're going to see, how might they use this?
Okay, before I go there, one of the things I'd like to say is remember to celebrate your wins. For me, with goal setting, one of my things that I set as goals is how to celebrate my wins. I actually set them as goals because I'm one of those people who I just keep going. I achieve something, I'm like, oh, well done, which means you can do this. And I just keep going. So I've got to physically put in measures for myself, saying if I achieve this is how I celebrate. So I'm in that place of gratitude, that place of awareness. I review and I think, okay, I have actually achieved this, because I can go for half a year and think I haven't actually done anything and start feeling really bad. Whereas my friends say to me, oh my goodness, you've done so much. I'm thinking, no, I haven't. But have those times where you celebrate. It's all, apart from working on people like me, it's also important to be grateful for everything we achieve. Yeah, so that's a big thing when you're setting your goals. Big.
I want to show everybody. I got this from my coach, Lori Conkler. She had me get I went and got a little book. It's just a little, and it's pink. It's my color. Every day I write what's working. What did I achieve? What's going well? What's happening? And I can go back through this, and oh my gosh, am I motivated, inspired when I look at it. And I posted this, I think, over the weekend. Another way that you can do it is get some sort of clear container and drop them in here, so that you visually see, oh my gosh, look at how much I got done. Look at what I'm achieving. Look at the progress I'm making. Those are small ways, but I love the reward system. I'm a big fan of the reward system. Like, if I achieve this goal, I'm gonna celebrate and get myself something or whatever it is. Love it. Love it. Okay.
Okay.
We only got about 9 minutes left because
That's more than enough time. The PDF, literally, what it does is it's a simple but powerful tool. It'll help you write all your goals, and then you write the action plans you'll be taking to achieve those goals. And what that does is every time you can tick off the action plans, it's literally to help you track. It's, again, I say this, it's not to, there are no dates on it, no times on it. And I do that because if you use it today and don't use it till next week, no one's coming to say you missed the whole week. It's for you. It's supposed to be a tool that helps you, but it's really powerful. I use it as well.
I love this. And so it's just, there's
different
I love
categories.
it. It's just, you can use as many or as few as you want. This is awesome. Awesome. Okay. Fantastic. And everybody, the link is up above if you want to grab that from Chinelo. I've already downloaded it since I showed it to all of you. I can't wait to use it. So thank you. All right. Let me ask you this, Chinelo, as we're wrapping up. If there's somebody out there that needs more help with this, they need help with, I just don't even know how to do this, whether it's setting goals or setting their vision or mission, or what would you recommend to them? How is this something that you can help them with?
It is something I can help with. I'm in the group, so you can find me in the group, or you can send me a DM and we can talk about it. And I'd be happy to help in whichever way I can. Send me a message and we can take it from there.
And we'll take it from, it's super easy, right? This is what I love about Chinelo. You've got so much knowledge and so much experience, but you do it in a way that's just, it's easy. It's easy to work with you. It's easy you make things crystal clear and super simple. And I love that about you. So I'm so glad that you are you were able to come on live with us today, that you were able to share some of this. People were able to see how awesome you are, because I know you're awesome. Now they see how awesome you are. Does anybody have any questions for Chinelo? Things that we didn't get to today that you're curious about or you want to know, drop them in the comments. And I will tell you, Chinelo is in the group. I'll make sure she sees all of your questions, even those of you that are watching on the replay. Ask your questions, get the help that you need, because I think both of us, and Chinelo, I'll let you respond to this as well. I want you to be successful. I want you to be successful in your business. I'm only successful in my job, in my business, if you are successful. Yeah. So I want to do everything I can do to help you get this year kicked off right from the beginning, to get your goals set, to understand where you're going and your vision and your mission and all of those things, because they really can be guiding principles that help lay out the whole rest of the year. So, you know, I would rather you ask one of us than struggle or fight through, how am I supposed to do this? Or beat yourself up because you can't figure out your word of the year or whatever it is. That's what we're here for. We want to help you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And I just want to say one of the things, so somebody asked me why I was talking to somebody about what I do, and it's a man. And he's saying to me, you're so passionate. Why? And I said to him, I'll give you the illustration I gave him. I said, if two people, a man and a woman or a mother, are walking down the road and they see a child who's sitting by the road hungry and needs to be clothed, the man might give the child money and go on to work. The woman might give the child money, buy some food, but the whole day she's thinking, what happened to that child? Where could she have that child on her mind? And I said, the thing that I'm passionate about is for women to be able, mums to be able to have businesses where they're financially empowered to change their world. Imagine if you could just say to that child, come with me, I'll take you to wherever it is.
Yeah.
But a lot of the time we're restricted by that one thing, money. And I know a lot of people think it's a dirty world, but no, that's why we have our businesses, to empower us to change our communities so we can leave legacies, we can change the world, put our imprint on the sands of time and in the lives of people. So anything I can do to help you get there, I'll be excited to do.
You just gave me goosebumps, like up and down both arms. I'm filled with goosebumps now. It is that analogy was spot on. And I imagine it resonates with everybody who's watching today, because that's probably one of the reasons you each started your business, to have an impact and to make a difference and to help people in some way. And what I always find interesting is that, if we look at this collective group and we say, we all started our business because we want to help people. I can't tell you how many times I will hear from somebody that'll say, I don't want to bother you. I don't want to be a pest. And I think what you just said is, no, what you're doing is actually lighting me up. You're helping me deliver on my mission to be able to empower all of these wonderful people. So there's some logic in there. If you want it, chances are everybody else does too. So leverage the resources. Nobody out there is alone. I know sometimes being an entrepreneur can feel very, very lonely and very alone. And you're like, I don't got a team. It's just me here. Nope. That's not true. You have a huge community of people around you that want to help you and support you and see you succeed. And that just starts with me and Chinelo. So thank you, Chinelo, for being here. Thank you for sharing all of this. You are fantastic. Again, if you all have questions, let us know. And more than anything, I would love to know where you go with this. So I'll create some posts in the group for you to share your word of the year and your vision and your goals and those kinds of things, just to help hold you accountable and share with everybody else. If you're struggling with it, that will be a place for you to do that as well. So know that is coming. Okay. Chinelo, any final words? I mean, I don't know how you would top off what you just said, but anything else that you want to say as we're signing off?
No, I feel so honored, so privileged. I'm so excited every time. You've created something amazing, Jamie. And when I said to you that you've actually changed my life, I do mean it. I do mean it. I could never have imagined feeling comfortable being on camera. I knew it was something I had to do, and I would have made myself do it, but actually enjoying it because of the way you deliver your message, saying, think about the message, because you said that to me before, and that empowered me. So I'm really excited. I feel really honored to be here. And for all the ladies on here, thank you for being on here. I feel really loved. Thank you. And
I feel really loved too. I know you feel really loved. I hope they all feel really loved. Lots of, let me just show you this. Wowzers. Yes. Thank you. Love this. So the love is definitely there. All right, everybody, have a wonderful rest of the first week of 2024. Have a great January. You got this. You can do this. You can smash this. This can be your year. All right, everybody. Bye.